Hey everyone, today we're going to go through a few basic tips on how to get confident doing drops. Alright, so there's two sort of main ways I like to break down thinking about riding off a drop. There's one where we just want to float off it, we're in no rush to get to the ground. And there's another one where maybe we're coming up to a corner or a jump after the drop and we want to get our tyres on the ground as quickly as we can. So if we're just going to be floating off the drop, we're not really concerned about where we're landing too much. Everything's nice and smooth and safe. Maybe we've got a sweet down ramp or something like that. What we want to do is we want to come in at a nice even pace. We want to be centered on our bike in a strong riding position, a little bit of bend in the arms, a little bit of bend in the legs. And as we come off the drop, we want to unweight and we want to think about when we're landing, we're taking our arms up into the bike as if we're going down in a push-up. And the same thing with our legs. We're taking up some of the weight of our body. We're not just relying on the suspension, but we're going to sort of go down as if we're going down in a squat. Nice and strong in the legs, nice and strong in the arms, but we don't want to be straight armed and super stiff and strong. Now on the flip side to this, if we want to get our tyres on the ground as soon as we can, like I said before, maybe we've got a bit of an obstacle or something straight after the drop, we want to be on the top of the drop, coming in at the same sort of speed, however fast or slow we need to be going. And we want to squat into the bike before we go off the drop. So we're going to soak up the bike before we head off the drop. And as we leave the drop, we're going to push the bike down. So it's kind of like the opposite technique as before we're soaking it up. This time we're pushing down into it. Now obviously this is horses for courses. We need to take into consideration how big the drop is, what type of landing we've got, and these types of things before we get stuck in. All right, so here we have a perfect example of a time where we want to get our wheels back on the ground as soon as possible. We've got not too big consecutive drops, one after the other. We're coming in from a fairly steep, loose section, quite a lot of speed, but it's hard to control our speed. So we want to come in, try and be as settled as we can, push in off this first drop. So we're nice and planted, maybe do a little bit of braking if we need to before we go off that second drop into the chunder. All right, so there we have it. A few key pointers to think about and practice around doing drops. As with any time, when our wheels are coming off the air, we want to make sure we're nice and settled on our entry. We need to consider what type of drop we're actually going to do. Are we going to soak up the drop or push into the drop on landing? We also want to make sure that we know we've got a nice safe run out, and don't be afraid to maybe, as we get more advanced, maybe we can pre-hop into the jump, something like that. But yeah, take it easy. Anytime your wheels are coming off the air, we want to be nice and confident, have good air awareness, don't be rushing anything, and happy trails.